Imagine this. You finally confront someone about their lies, their manipulation, their betrayal. You expect guilt, maybe even an apology. But instead, they smirk. They gaslight. They deny. And then, poof, they disappear, leaving you questioning your own reality. You start wondering, am I overreacting? Did I do something wrong? But deep down, you know the truth. You've just witnessed one of the dark tactics evil people use when they're exposed. A friend once shared a story about a toxic boss who stole credit for her work. When she finally stood up for herself, he laughed it off, changed the subject, and made her feel like the problem. When she didn't back down, he vanished, cutting her off completely, pretending she never existed. This isn't just frustrating, it's a calculated strategy designed to break you down, to make you doubt your own reality. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice." That's the key. The moment you recognize these manipulative tactics, you take away their power. You don't have to play their game. You don't have to chase them for closure. Their escape is not your loss, it's your liberation. Have you ever been on the receiving end of these tactics? Share your experience in the comments below. Let's expose these manipulations together. Because when evil people are caught, they will do anything to escape accountability. But you see through them now. Stay strong, stay wise, and let's dive into the 8 dark tactics evil people use when exposed. Number 1, denial of responsibility. When confronted with the truth, an evil person will never take responsibility. Instead of acknowledging the harm they've caused, they immediately shift the narrative, casting themselves as the victim to evoke sympathy, deflect blame, and make you question yourself. Their goal is not to seek forgiveness, but to manipulate your emotions until you feel guilty for even holding them accountable. Rather than admitting fault, they put on a performance, crying, acting hurt, or claiming they've been unfairly treated. They might say, "I can't believe you'd think that of me," or, "After everything I've done for you, this is how you repay me." But these outbursts are not signs of remorse, they are tactics to disarm you. By shifting the focus onto their own supposed suffering, they make it difficult for you to stand firm in your confrontation. Some will go further, exaggerating past hardships or bringing up unrelated struggles to justify their behavior. If caught in a lie, they might say, "You don't understand how hard my life has been. I had no choice," or, "I've been through so much and now you're attacking me too." This false sense of pity is meant to weaken your resolve, making you hesitate even when they are clearly in the wrong. More dangerously, they manipulate others into believing they are the real victim. If you expose their lies or call them out publicly, they twist the situation to make it seem like you are the unreasonable one. Suddenly, mutual friends or colleagues hear things like, "I don't know why they're attacking me. I've always supported them," or, "They're making things up just to hurt me." By controlling the narrative, they turn people against you, isolating you from the support you need. Imagine confronting someone who betrayed your trust, only for them to flip the script and act as though you are the aggressor. They might say, "You always assume the worst about me," or, "You're just trying to make me look bad." Instead of addressing what they've done, they put you on the defensive, forcing you to justify why you even brought it up in the first place. This psychological game is designed to wear you down until you second-guess whether you were ever right to hold them accountable. But as Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Their manipulation only works if you allow them to control your perception. The more you let their words create doubt, the easier it becomes for them to escape responsibility. So how do you protect yourself? 1. Stay firm in the truth. No matter how much they twist reality, facts remain facts. 2. Do not engage in their emotional theatrics. Their guilt is theirs to carry, not yours. 3. Trust your instincts. If someone repeatedly avoids accountability and makes you feel guilty for confronting them, recognize it for what it is: manipulation, not remorse. Seneca once said, "The first step toward escaping slavery is realizing your chains." When you see through their tactics, you take away their power. Let them play their role, but do not let them rewrite reality. The truth, no matter how much they distort it, will always stand. Number 2. Gaslighting. There are few weapons as insidious as gaslighting. When an evil person realizes they can no longer deceive you outright, they turn to a more subtle tactic, making you doubt your own reality. They don't argue with the truth, they rewrite it. They don't take responsibility, they twist events until you question whether you were ever right in the first place. This is not mere deception, it is psychological warfare designed to break your confidence and keep you under their control. Gaslighting is not always obvious at first. It starts with small phrases that seem trivial. That never happened. You're overreacting. You always misunderstand things. Alone, these words might not seem powerful, but repeated over time, they plant the seeds of doubt. Slowly, you start to wonder, did I really remember that wrong? Am I being too sensitive? The moment you start questioning your own perception, they gain power over you. The philosopher Epictetus warned, if someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. The gaslighter's goal is not just to deceive, it is to make you deceive yourself. Once self-doubt takes root, they no longer need to control you directly. You start policing your own thoughts, filtering reality through their distortions. This tactic extends beyond mere words. A gaslighter's actions will often contradict their statements, leaving you in a constant state of confusion. One day they claim they care for you deeply. The next they dismiss your concerns as irrational. If confronted with evidence of their lies, they deny, deflect, or even fabricate new versions of the past. In extreme cases, they may even recruit others to reinforce their false narrative, saying things like, "They've been acting really paranoid lately. I don't know why they keep making up stories about me." Suddenly, you feel alone in your truth, outnumbered by those who believe the gaslighter's version of events. Consider this scenario. A friend you trusted starts spreading rumors about you. When you confront them, they act shocked and hurt. "I would never say that," they insist, even though you've heard it directly from multiple sources. Later, when another mutual friend brings it up, the gaslighter plays the victim. "I don't know why they're attacking me. I've always supported them." Now, you're not just dealing with their betrayal, you're defending yourself against a version of reality they've manufactured. Seneca once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." The true danger of gaslighting is that it does not merely distort external reality, it makes you suffer internally, causing you to distrust your own mind. The more you second-guess yourself, the easier you are to control. So how do you fight back? First, recognize gaslighting for what it is, a manipulation tactic, not a reflection of the truth. Do not let their words shake your inner certainty. Keep records of conversations. Rely on external validation such as texts or emails, and trust your own experiences over their fabricated narratives. Most importantly, stand firm. Gaslighting only works if you surrender your perception to their control. A person who distorts reality fears the power of truth. The more you refuse to waver, the more their grip weakens. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." By guarding your mind, trusting in what you know, and refusing to let anyone rewrite your reality, you take away their power. Stay strong, trust what you've seen with your own eyes, and never let an evil person make you doubt the truth. Number 3, smear campaign. When an evil person realizes you see through their deception, they don't surrender to the truth, they go to war against it. Their first move is often to launch a smear campaign, a ruthless effort to destroy your credibility before you can expose them. Their logic is simple. If they can make others doubt you first, no one will believe you when you finally speak out. This is not a battle of facts, it is a battle of perception, and they will do whatever it takes to control the narrative. A smear campaign operates through lies, half-truths, and psychological projection. They will accuse you of the very things they are guilty of, twisting reality so that they appear innocent while making you look like the villain. Suddenly, instead of people questioning their behavior, they begin to question yours. This tactic is not new. Seneca once observed, "Every guilty person is his own hangman." Those who fear exposure will often rush to condemn others first, hoping that in the chaos, their own sins will be overlooked. This kind of manipulation is especially dangerous because it is subtle. They won't always spread blatant lies. Instead, they distort the truth just enough to make you look bad. Imagine you had a heated argument with them after they betrayed your trust. Instead of telling the full story, they selectively recount the moment, telling others, "They screamed at me for no reason. I don't know why they're so aggressive." Conveniently, they leave out the part where they lied to you, provoked you, or pushed you to the breaking point. By controlling which details are shared, they paint a false picture, making you seem irrational while they play the victim. But they don't stop there. Evil people understand the power of social influence. They will spread whispers of doubt, carefully planting seeds in the minds of others. They might say, "I don't want to say anything bad, but I'm really worried about them. They've been acting strange lately." Or, "I just don't know if we can trust them anymore." These statements sound like concern, but they are weapons of manipulation. The more people hear them, the more they begin to wonder if something is wrong with you, even without evidence. Before you know it, friends, colleagues, or family members start to distance themselves, unconsciously influenced by the gaslighter's deception. Consider a workplace scenario. You uncover unethical behavior in your company and decide to speak up. Before you can even present the facts, the person responsible starts whispering behind your back, telling colleagues, "They've been really difficult to work with lately, so negative about everything. I don't know what's going on with them." By the time you bring the issue to light, the damage is already done. People have been primed to see you as the problem, not the wrongdoing you were exposing. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "If anyone can refute me, show me I'm making a mistake, or looking at things from the wrong perspective, I'll gladly change." It's the truth I'm after, and the truth never harmed anyone. But evil people do not seek truth. They seek control. Their smear campaign is not about right or wrong. It is about power. So how do you protect yourself? First and foremost, do not play their game. The worst thing you can do is react emotionally, as this only fuels their false narrative. If you lash out, they will use it as proof that you are unstable or aggressive. Instead, stay calm, stick to the truth, and let your actions speak louder than their lies. Those who genuinely know you will see through the deception over time. Second, document everything. If they spread lies, have facts ready to counter them. Keep records of conversations, messages, or any evidence that exposes the truth. While engaging in direct confrontation is often pointless with manipulators, being prepared ensures you can defend yourself when necessary. Most importantly, remember this: a smear campaign is a sign of fear. They wouldn't go to such lengths to discredit you if they weren't terrified of the truth coming out. The louder they scream their lies, the more desperate they are to keep their own mask from slipping. Do not let them silence you. Stand firm, refuse to be dragged into their manipulation, and trust that while lies may spread quickly, truth endures. As long as you remain steadfast in what you know, their deception will eventually collapse under its own weight. Number 4, feigning change. When an evil person realizes they've been exposed, their instinct is not to take responsibility, it is to regain control. One of the most deceptive tactics they use is pretending to change. They suddenly act kind, offer apologies, and promise to do better, as if they've undergone a profound transformation. But do not be deceived. This is not self-reflection, it is self-preservation. Their words are carefully chosen not to heal the damage they cause, but to disarm you, lower your defenses, and keep you within their grasp. At first, their change seems convincing. They say things like, "I've realized I was wrong, and I'm working on myself," or, "I don't want to lose you. I'll do whatever it takes to fix this." They may shower you with affection, gifts, or grand gestures, making you believe they have truly turned a new leaf. But this isn't remorse, it's a strategic performance. They fear losing their power over you, and they will do whatever it takes to make you stay. Marcus Aurelius wisely stated, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." True change is not spoken, it is lived. But an evil person does not seek true transformation, they only change when it serves their interests. The moment they sense that you have forgiven them or let your guard down, their mask begins to slip. The apologies fade, the manipulation resumes, and before you know it, you're trapped in the same cycle of deception, betrayal, and emotional abuse. A classic example of this tactic can be seen in toxic relationships. Imagine someone repeatedly breaking your trust, lying, cheating, or manipulating you. Each time they are caught, they break down in tears, promising, "I'll never do that again." They make just enough effort to convince you they've changed. Perhaps they start attending therapy, reading self-help books, or making symbolic gestures of remorse. But as soon as they feel secure in your forgiveness, the old behaviors return, sometimes worse than before. They never truly intended to change. They only intended to keep you believing they could. One of the biggest red flags of false change is that it relies on words, not actions. Genuine transformation requires consistent effort over time, not just brief periods of good behavior. A person who is truly remorseful will acknowledge their mistakes without excuses, take full responsibility instead of blaming others, make a conscious, long-term effort to change their behavior, accept the consequences of their actions. An evil person, on the other hand, will only change when it benefits them. The moment they no longer feel threatened by exposure, they revert to their true nature, often with greater cunning than before. Their apologies are not admissions of guilt, but strategies for manipulation. Seneca once said, "A liar's punishment is not in the least that he is not believed, but that he cannot believe anyone else." Those who feign change are not only deceiving others, they are trapped in a cycle of their own dishonesty, unable to form genuine connections or experience personal growth. Their entire existence is built on deception, and they assume everyone else operates the same way. So how do you protect yourself? Trust actions over words. If someone in your life has a pattern of hurting you, apologizing, and then repeating the same behavior, recognize it for what it is: manipulation, not growth. Set firm boundaries. Refuse to be drawn back in by false promises. Don't give them another chance to prove you right. True change is rare, and it is never instantaneous. Those who truly seek to better themselves will do so whether or not they are being watched. An evil person, however, will only change for as long as it takes to regain control. Do not let them deceive you. Stand firm, trust what history has shown you, and remember, a person's actions over time will always reveal who they truly are. Number 5, using fear and intimidation. When an evil person realizes their manipulation is failing, they drop the act of deception and resort to something more primal: fear and intimidation. This is their last attempt to regain control. If they can no longer trick you, they will try to break your spirit. They want you to feel powerless, overwhelmed, and too exhausted to keep resisting. Their goal is not just to silence you, but to make you believe that fighting back is pointless. At first, their intimidation is subtle: passive-aggressive remarks, veiled threats, or sudden outbursts of anger, just enough to keep you on edge. You might notice how their demeanor changes when you stand your ground. The once charming mask falls, revealing hostility and condescension. If you call them out, they respond with threats disguised as warnings. You better watch what you say. You don't know who you're messing with. If you keep pushing, you'll regret it. These words are designed to plant seeds of doubt, making you hesitate, second-guess yourself, and ultimately retreat. But as Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Their threats only work if you let them control your thoughts. The moment you refuse to fear them, their power crumbles. When subtle intimidation doesn't work, they escalate. Some resort to physical aggression, breaking objects or using their presence to instill fear. Others use social status, money, or influence to make you feel small. They might spread dangerous lies, threaten legal action, or even try to ruin your career. Anything that isolates you, anything that makes you feel trapped, is a weapon in their hands. Imagine a workplace scenario where you expose unethical behavior. Instead of admitting fault, the person you exposed retaliates. They start whispering to colleagues that you're unstable or difficult to work with. Suddenly, opportunities disappear, people avoid you, and the weight of their influence makes you question if standing up was worth it. This is intimidation in action, not just an attack on your credibility, but an attempt to make you afraid of the consequences of speaking the truth. But here's what you must remember. This is a sign that they are afraid of you. When a manipulator resorts to intimidation, it means they feel cornered. They wouldn't lash out so violently if they didn't see you as a real threat. Their fear is not of you personally, it is of the truth you carry. They are terrified that their carefully constructed facade is beginning to crack. Seneca wisely said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Intimidation is a mind game. The more you fear what might happen, the more power they hold over you. The reality is often far less catastrophic than the fear they try to instill. Stay calm. Document everything. Refuse to be provoked. Heated arguments only give them more material to twist against you. If the intimidation escalates beyond words, seek professional or legal support. Protect yourself, but do not let fear dictate your choices. Surround yourself with people who know the truth, who believe in you, and who will stand by your side. The more isolated you are, the more vulnerable you become. So never allow them to push you into silence. Evil people only have power if you surrender to fear. The moment you decide that you will not be intimidated, that you will not let them shake your belief in the truth, is the moment you take your power back. Stand firm, hold your ground, and never let their threats become your reality. Number 6, isolating you from support. Evil people understand that one of the greatest threats to their control is a strong support system. As long as you have people who believe in you, ground you, and remind you of reality, their manipulation loses its grip. That is why, when they realize you figured them out, they work tirelessly to isolate you. Their goal is simple: make you feel alone, unsupported, and doubtful of your own perception. Because when you have no one to turn to, you become easier to break. One of their primary tactics is turning others against you. Before you even have the chance to tell your side of the story, they plant seeds of doubt in the minds of those around you, whispering carefully crafted lies. "I'm really worried about them. They've been acting so irrational lately. I don't know what happened, but they've changed. I don't think you can trust them anymore. They're making up stories about me. I have no idea why they're trying to ruin my reputation." These statements are not direct attacks, but subtle manipulations designed to frame you as unstable, untrustworthy, or even malicious. Before you even realize what's happening, people start distancing themselves from you. Friends hesitate to take sides, colleagues grow wary, and family members start questioning whether there's some truth to what they've heard. The worst part? By the time you try to speak the truth, the damage has already been done. But their isolation tactics don't stop there. If they can't turn others against you, they will try to convince you that no one will believe you anyway. They'll say things like, "No one is going to take your side over mine. You're wasting your time trying to make people see the truth. Everyone already knows you're the problem." These words are designed to break your spirit, to make you so discouraged that you isolate yourself out of fear. Because if they can make you believe you're alone, they don't even need to do the work of turning people against you. You'll do it for them. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if none of them know the truth. Just because a lie spreads doesn't make it real. Just because others doubt you doesn't mean you should doubt yourself. The people who fall for their manipulation were never truly on your side to begin with. Imagine this scenario. You confront a toxic friend about their constant deception, and instead of admitting wrongdoing, they go on the offensive. They start telling mutual friends that you become paranoid and obsessed with drama. At first, you notice small things: people becoming distant, conversations ending when you walk into a room. Then when you try to clear the air, you realize they've already convinced others that you are the problem. Now no one is listening to you, not because you're wrong, but because the manipulator got to them first. But here's what you must remember. Their attempt to isolate you is a sign of their own weakness, not their strength. If they were truly secure, if they were truly in control, they wouldn't have to work so hard to silence you. Their fear of the truth coming out is what drives them to manipulate others. That means you are more powerful than they want you to believe. So how do you fight back? Do not let them control the narrative. If you see them spreading lies, calmly set the record straight, not with emotion, but with facts. Keep records of conversations, texts, or any proof that exposes their deception. Surround yourself with people who genuinely care about you and trust only those who have consistently proven their loyalty. Most importantly, never let them make you feel alone. The right people will see through their lies in time. The truth, no matter how delayed, always prevails. Stay strong, stand firm in your reality, and never let an evil person convince you that you have no one, because their greatest fear is that you do. Number 7, blame shifting. When an evil person is caught, their instinct is not to admit the truth, but to bury it beneath a bigger lie. They know that accepting responsibility means losing control, so they go into damage control, rewriting history, twisting facts, and fabricating new stories to protect their image at any cost. Even when the truth is undeniable, they double down on deception, hoping that if they lie convincingly enough, others will start to doubt reality itself. This is often called lying on top of a lie. Instead of confessing, they continue spinning new versions of events, contradicting their own past statements. One day they insist something happened a certain way, and the next, the details shift. If you confront them with inconsistencies, they simply deny ever saying what they previously claimed, making it nearly impossible to pin them down. This is not forgetfulness. It is deliberate manipulation. They rewrite history, painting themselves as the victim or twisting events to make you seem like the aggressor. They shift blame, pointing fingers at you or someone else to escape accountability. They manipulate facts, mixing tiny bits of truth with distortion to make their lies seem plausible. And if logic fails them, they resort to emotional manipulation, acting hurt, playing the victim, or guilt-tripping you until you start questioning whether you're the bad guy. The more they feel cornered, the more desperate their lies become. Eventually, their stories become so elaborate that they start contradicting themselves. But rather than admitting defeat, they dig in even deeper. They would rather destroy relationships, gaslight others, and ruin reputations than take responsibility for their actions. Imagine you confront someone about their deception, only for them to immediately turn the tables. You're the one who's always twisting the truth. Or, I can't believe you'd accuse me of lying when you're the one who lies all the time. Suddenly, you're not addressing their wrongdoing. You're defending yourself against an accusation that was never real to begin with. This is a tactic called projection, where they transfer their own faults onto you to distract from their guilt. If they lied, they accuse you of dishonesty. If they betrayed your trust, they insist that you are the untrustworthy one. This is not a coincidence. It's a calculated effort to shift the focus and put you on the defensive. Seneca once said, "A liar's punishment is not in the least that he's not believed, but that he cannot believe anyone else." Those who live by deception assume everyone else does too. They don't argue to find the truth, they argue to escape it. So, how do you fight back? Do not engage in their web of deception. The more you argue with a liar, the more tangled things become. Stick to the facts. Document everything. Do not waste your energy trying to convince people who have already chosen to believe the lie. Eventually, the weight of their own deception will expose them. If they try to shift blame onto you, refuse to play defense. Instead of saying, "I'm not lying," say, "This conversation is about your actions, not mine." Redirect the focus back to the truth. Trust yourself. Their accusations are a sign that they feel cornered and exposed. If they had nothing to hide, they wouldn't need to shift the blame. At the end of the day, projection is a desperate attempt to escape accountability. Recognizing this tactic for what it is takes away their power, because no matter how many lies they throw at you, the truth will always stand. Number 8, deny and disappear. When an evil person is caught in their lies, manipulation, or betrayal, you might expect them to acknowledge the damage they've caused, take responsibility, or at least offer an explanation. But instead, they do something far more infuriating. They act like nothing ever happened. Rather than facing the consequences, they erase the past as if it never existed. This is not forgetfulness. It is a calculated strategy. By pretending there is no issue, they force you into an impossible position. Either keep pushing for accountability, risking being seen as dramatic, or drop the issue entirely, allowing them to escape unscathed. At first, this tactic can be deeply frustrating. You stand there waiting for some kind of recognition, but they continue on as if your confrontation never took place. They still smile at you, send casual messages, or even act extra nice, making it seem as though their deception or betrayal was nothing more than a minor misunderstanding. And if you dare to bring it up again, they roll their eyes, sigh, and say things like, "Why are you still talking about this?" Or, "Can't you just let it go? You're making a big deal out of nothing." These dismissive responses are designed to wear you down, making you question yourself. Am I overreacting? Should I just move on? But the moment you let them convince you of this, they win. The true danger of this tactic is that it minimizes your pain and invalidates your experience. It's their way of telling you, your feelings don't matter. The harm I caused isn't important. This emotional gaslighting can make you feel invisible, unheard, and even guilty for expecting accountability. But as Marcus Aurelius wisely said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice. You do not have to accept their false reality. If someone hurt you, you don't have to pretend it never happened just because they do. Then there's another variation of this tactic, when they suddenly disappear altogether. One of the clearest signs that an evil person has lost their grip on you is when, instead of admitting their wrongdoing, they cut ties and vanish. They block you on social media, quit their job, leave shared spaces, or simply start ignoring you as if you never existed. To them, you were never a person, just a tool for their manipulation. The moment they realize they can't control you anymore, they see no reason to keep you around. Rather than facing exposure, they run before their true nature is revealed. This sudden discard phase can feel shocking and painful. Someone who was once deeply involved in your life now treats you like a stranger. You might find yourself asking, did I do something wrong? Did they ever truly care about me at all? That's exactly what they want. They disappeared not because of anything you did, but because they refused to face accountability. Instead of dealing with the reality of their actions, they move on to find someone else to deceive, someone who hasn't yet figured them out. Seneca once said, "He who is brave is free," and in truth, their disappearance is not a loss, it's liberation. Evil people cycle through victims, keeping them close only for as long as they can control them. The fact that they no longer want you in their life means you have escaped the cycle. Do not chase after them. Do not search for closure from someone incapable of giving it. Instead, stand firm in what you know to be true. Because at the end of the day, their greatest fear is being exposed, and your greatest power is refusing to be silenced. If they disappear from your life, see it as a gift, not a loss. You were strong enough to break free before they could do more damage. Don't chase them. Let them run. Their escape is not a reflection of your worth, but of their fear. They flee because you saw through them, and nothing terrifies them more than the truth. The more distance you create, the clearer their manipulations become. Use that space to rebuild your confidence, your peace, your strength. Being discarded by an evil person is not rejection, it's freedom. If you've ever faced this, comment "Truth prevails" below. Stay strong, stay wise, and subscribe for more insights, because in the next video, we'll uncover even more ways to take back your power.